Hello everyone and welcome to another Premier Injuries Daily Injury Roundup. I'm going to quickly focus on the upcoming European fixtures, and we've already heard from Brendan Rodgers. Leicester City, of course, face Spartak Moscow on Thursday. Now, Rodgers confirms that there are several doubts ahead of the game, namely Ricardo Pereira. He missed out last weekend due to muscle tightness, a problem that he picked up in the Carabao Cup. But he said it's not serious. He will face a late fitness test. If he does miss out on Thursday, then he will be back in the squad on Sunday for that game against Leeds. There's also been a bit of a sickness bug running through the Leicester camp. We've seen Ayoze Perez omitted from the matchday squad in recent times. Well, that's spread, and there are now concerns over James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, and also James Justin has been sidelined with a long-term knee injury. He would have been out of contention. Now, thankfully, again, those players have returned to the training pitches, but they've missed a couple of days. So what Brendan Rodgers has said, again, if they're not risked in that Europa League tie, then the chances are they should be back on Sunday. Of course, Liverpool play Atletico on Wednesday night in the Champions League. We're waiting for news with regards to the availability, or whether they start Fabinho, who's been managing a knee problem, and also Thiago Alcantara. He's had a calf problem in recent weeks. Both players are trained fully and normally. Now, I would expect maybe Fabinho to come in to that squad on Wednesday. Probably a little bit too soon for Thiago, but looking ahead of the weekend, depending on how those training sessions goes, it could be the fact that maybe Thiago is pushing for a recall. But we know at Liverpool they are stretched in that midfield with Harvey Elliott ruled out and also James Milner on the sidelines. For Manchester United, and also Naby Keita, who picked up a hamstring problem against Brighton. For Manchester United, problems at the back ahead of the derby. We've seen Rafael Varane only recently returned from an adductor issue that he picked up from Spain. He was forced off in the first half against Atalanta because of a hamstring issue. Now, that doesn't look great. And even if his withdrawal was a precautionary measure, with such a quick turnaround, then it might be a risk for Ollie to throw him in there. We'll have to see that one, how it evolves over maybe the next 24 to 48 hours. How potentially that could impact on things. Well, we have seen Solskjaer go with a back three in recent games, a 3 on the attack, a 5 in defending, with Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw pushing up. Now, with Harry Maguire, as it currently stands as the main centre-back that's available, we've seen Eric Bailly come in that Champions League tie. There have also been question marks over the fitness of Victor Lindelof. Now, thankfully, he has been named in the Sweden squad for their upcoming World Cup qualifiers, and the Swedish coach has said that it was only a minor knock that he picked up in training on Monday. So really, there should be no long-term effects, and maybe Victor Lindelof could come into that back line if Varane, as expected, would miss out. Tottenham, of course, going to be under the stewardship of Antonio Conte. We haven't heard from him on Wednesday. We've heard from the club. So we haven't really had any updates with regards to their player availability ahead of the matchup with Genk. What we do know, Bryan Gil, he picked up a hamstring problem last time out. Nuno didn't give much of an insight into that type of into the severity of that injury. He never really did, but I would suggest that it's probably a little bit too soon. Again, we're talking about 8 days after that injury occurred. If it was on the lower end, the lower grade, a little bit of tightness, we're maybe looking at 7 to 10 days. But because of the high re-injury and recurrence rate, he may not be risked. For Ryan Sessegnon, he was working with the sports science department, and he's been assessed from game week to game week, but certainly doesn't look to be in contention anytime soon. And for West Ham, of course, we have Alex Kral back with the group. He had been isolating following a positive test for COVID-19. Now, it'll be a case of working his way back up to match fitness and then being considered. We have seen David Moyes rotate his squad heavily in the Europa League, and namely omitting Mikel Antonio from the squad altogether, which is great news for fantasy owners. He's obviously clearly prioritising his time in the Premier League. So we may see Alex Kral, and also Ryan Fredericks has been in and around that squad. He's managing an ongoing groin problem, and he's building fitness. And of course, fantasy managers may want to see the return of Vladimir Ksufal return to the matchday squad, but is yet to start, he's had his own pelvic problems, which have required an injection to try and help manage that pain and a little bit inflammation. But that's your daily update for Wednesday. If there's anything new and pressing, we will update accordingly. And if you haven't seen our latest videos, why not? We've got a couple of belters in there. And please remember to subscribe. We have more videos dropping soon. And as soon as they land, you will be notified. So that's it for now. Thanks a lot and see you again soon.